It is me, Nona, and this is
Alge.
So welcome back to another episode on the TheNonah&AlgeTalkshow. Today we're going to be going over normalizing disrespect, which he wants to cover for us. So, Alge?
So for episode 5, I want to talk about normalizing disrespect, okay? And how it affects you mentally, physically, and emotionally.
Yes. And I have a couple questions for Alge right here. And if anyone can relate, you guys can feel free to comment below of your experiences with disrespect, within, your community or friends, acquaintances, even strangers. And we're going to be, going into that a little bit. But I'll go ahead and ask Alge first. What is disrespect to you?
Normalizing disrespect to me is like, okay, here's a good example. You ever been around people, whether it's friends or family or associates, and they feel like they could just misjudge you, feeling like they could just say mean things to you.
Yeah.
Or feeling like, oh, well, I just do this to anybody. Or, this is who I am. Take it or leave it. Mm-hmm. And to me, it's like people don't realize that they don't act this way with certain people, with their friends, really.
Right.
But then it's like when they meet somebody new, they're basically bashing you. Oh. And it can affect you emotionally because it's just sometimes you'll realize or try to figure out, do you have a problem with me? Or is it just a personal problem that you have with yourself? And feeling like whatever problems that you have personally, that you can never say to that person's face.
Yeah.
So it could be pretty hurtful at times. I've known for me, it hurt me a few times in the past when I was in college with certain people. But what about you? What does normalizing disrespect mean to you?
I've only been in situations with this when I was a cashier. I wanted to go a little bit into it, not super in depth, because I know Alge has probably a little bit more to share on this topic. But for me, when you normalize disrespect, you're normalizing the fact that you're just, okay, so you have your own view of what's normal, right? And then if something looks a little off for that person, they're going to think that you're out of, the ordinary, or they expect you to be a certain way, or they are kind of almost there's almost a standard, as if, if you don't fit into it, they just kind of disrespect you in that sense. But it's almost it happens really to anyone, I think. And It's really hard for people to kind of just consider that, it can really harm the person's feelings, the one who's being disrespected. And yes, you told me that sometimes this stuff happens, within the family. And that's a huge thing as well, because it's just because your aunt, says this about you, you shouldn't take it so seriously, or you shouldn't, take it to heart, because it is family after all, you know what I mean? Blood is thicker than water. But then again, it's just because they're family, it doesn't necessarily mean what they're saying to you is respectful. So exactly. The fact that you have to normalize, or you feel it's a normal thing for someone to insult you because you are family, it's crazy. But it's even worse when, they don't know you like that, and it's a stranger or an acquaintance of yours, and then they say something and it almost seems like it's just a normal thing for them to just say that to you, as if it's not going to affect you at all.
Exactly.
But then again, I don't even know what I just said. I'm kind of confused. I'm a little bit unsure of how to define it. I have a hard time kind of just defining something like this, because I feel like everyone has their own definition of it. And to me, the only way I can really define it is based on experience. And I only probably experience this with mostly people I confront with, customers or something, I'd say. Like, the fact that they look at you differently because you're not as, you're not in the same status, or you're not in the same, class as them, and then they view you
Right.
differently. That's what I can only, say regarding that matter, but I know you probably have a little bit more to say to that, so it's harder for me to define it, honestly.
Yeah, because it comes in so many different ways. And even though you still experience it though.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like I remember for me, especially when I was in college, there were certain people that I thought were my friends because people will always say, I keep it 1,000, you know what I'm saying? I keep it 1,000. They do all this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'll be like, okay, cool. We must have a great understanding then. If something that I said, if it was hurtful, I don't have problem. I have no problem genuinely apologizing. So there's a difference between apologizing and genuinely apologize for that person.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a difference because anybody can apologize, but do they actually really mean it? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the thing.
So when you genuinely apologize, you get to see that real truly emotion on how much that has affected a person. So there's like a huge difference between that. But when I was at Chafee, there were certain people I really thought that I was really cool with, really truly cool with, because I was friends with these people for a good 2, 3 years and never really had an issue. But I remember a few instances where certain people felt like they had to be right about every situation. And it took a toll on me because it's like we used to hang around with each other, right? With so many other different people. And for me, I'm one of those people where I don't talk much. I really do not talk a lot. I observe people's actions. So when I used to see how those people would treat other people, I would be like, huh, okay, this is different. Why are you not treating these people wrong like how you doing me? And it's more kind of like of I'm always right and you're always wrong kind of situation, or they like to flip stuff around and always want to blame you, but never look at themselves.
Yeah,
So,
that's where I get where you're going in terms of they're normalizing it.
yes,
You know what I mean?
yes.
It's like they don't realize that what they're saying is absolutely rude, like inconsiderate and disrespectful, because everyone has different situations. And the fact that you think that you're right about, your situation, where you can't just easily place it on someone else's, you know what I mean? Because everyone comes from a totally different, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Oh, so like we're gonna go over the second question, which has to do with the situation, either with family, friends, or associates that disrespected you and did not care. What are some situations or a situation that you wanted to share regarding this?
Okay, I've got a few.
Okay.
I'll start off with the friends first.
Okay.
I remember with the people I used to hang around with, because I used to hang around with a lot of people in college. I don't know why. I look back now, I'm like, why did I
You
do
were
that?
pretty outgoing, I would say, because I mean, based on what you were telling me on the phone, Yeah. You knew a lot of people.
Yeah, and I really did thought that these people were really truly cool because my friendship is really truly different. Anybody that really knows me personally, like Winona or anybody else out there, knows that my friendship is really truly different. It's not like a normal friendship. I always care about my friends and the people around me that I care about. I want to make sure that they are okay at all times.
That's very
I want what's
caring.
best for them.
Mhm.
So, there's few instances where I've gone to a few confrontations, and to me, it was more like, well, Algernon, you did this, or you did that, or you did this, or I said this because, oh, well, I mean, it's just who I am, and, I mean, I was just joking and all sort of kind of stuff. But to me, it's like, you cannot keep being rude and disrespectful to me. And I've never been nice and kind and kept 1,000 with you the whole entire time.
Yeah.
So it's like people are not, at that time, were not understanding that this is more of your problem of what you got going on. So it's like if you tell me something, right, and it has to deal with you, right, and you ask for my opinion on something, don't get mad when you ask for my opinion, because let's not forget, you asked me for my opinion.
Yeah, you might not like the answer.
Yeah, you want the answer, so you ask for my opinion and I give it to you. But then these people want to get mad, and then they want to make kind of like a friendship competition on who tells who more than who, and also the petty high school stuff. And I'm just like, okay, like, y'all clearly, I'm too old for this stuff, so it's like, y'all got to work out between y'all two. I ain't got nothing to do with it. So it's like, you need to start realizing actually what you're saying. And for the people that was around, they feel like, oh, you get to wear nice clothes. I wish I was you. Oh, I mean, like, you're always happy all the time. Ugh, must be nice. Or, why do you feel like you have to make those kind of comments, but I actually keep it real? You know, this ridiculous stuff, and not realizing you're asking me this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just so many instances at Chafee. Oh my goodness, it was just a lot, because these people feel like I have to be right about everything, even though I know that I'm wrong.
Yeah, we're not always gonna admit that we're right. It's just it just sucks, because it's like when you want to say something to someone, but it's like you just get disrespected about just about anything almost. It's not like we're asking for it, you know what I mean? Yeah.
We're really not. We're really truly not even asking for it. It's more like, if you ask somebody to keep it real with you, then you're going to get the real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, people feel like, oh, you're just attacking. Well, didn't you just actually keep it real, to be honest with you? You get what I'm saying?
It's just the response is a little bit off.
Yeah. I would say for me, like, my reaction is pretty firm.
The thing is, I think they get a little intimidated with how straightforward you are, but it's like, if you want the real truth of what I think about your situation or a question that you ask me, then you're going to get the 100%. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to BS an answer. You're not going to sugarcoat it. You're like straight to the point. So I think some people might get a little intimidated by that, but at the same time, it doesn't give them that. I don't want to say that right, but it doesn't seem right to just disrespect or just say something bad because of the truth. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Good point on that. Because so many times you get so caught up on, well, what did I do? Then you get to a point, you be looking around, you be like, did I do something? What did I do?
Yeah.
Why are you so mad at me? Because I think a lot of people not realizing, there's going to be a lot of people in your life that I've learned that they're going to be only yes and sugarcoat people. Mm-hmm. So when you're talking to those kind of people, you're just like, okay, well, I got my answer. But then when you want a real answer, it's going to be completely different, because it's a completely different side of the truth.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't want to tell the truth about a lot of stuff. It's like, I remember before, there was this girl I used to be friends with, and it was the three of us or whatever. And she'll always ask me for my opinion on stuff.
Right.
Or what do you think I should do? Now, mind you, I'm a real person. I keep it 1,000 every time.
You do.
And she'll get offended. And she'll be like, why'd you say it like that? Didn't you just ask me the question? What do you think I should do about this? Or what do you think? How do you feel like I should deal with this person? Or how should I deal with this person at all? You keep asking me and I tell you. But then she will get mad. Then she wanted to be spiteful. Then she tried to.
So is that where the whole disrespect comes in?
Yeah. Yeah, like she was trying to disrespect me on social media, call me all kind of names, have her family call me all kind of names as well.
Wow.
So
now it's bringing more drama than it needs to. Yeah.
Yeah, and people don't realize like when you're doing stuff like that, doing this petty, childish stuff, it looks bad on your end, it looks on my end. It's like you asked for my help. I ain't have help. Right?
But did that happen frequently, or was it just that one time?
No, it was consistently. I remember I talked to you on the phone about this, but it was this girl.
I just wanted clarification. Yeah.
Yeah, it was consistently. It would be like an everyday thing.
Every day.
Like, okay, so here's a good example. So this girl who I met at Chafee, she would consistently ask for my opinion on her situations. Like, for example, finances, relationships, health, all kinds of, because she knew that I like to work out. And I love to be healthy, and I love to be in shape, and I've always been like this since I was a kid. Or like fashion, I love fashion. I've loved fashion since I was a kid. So she would consistently be like, "Well, Alge, what do you feel about me dating this guy, or whatever?" And I always asked her, "Are you happy?" She goes, "Yeah." Well, I'm like, "Okay, well, you tell me that he keeps hurting you, doing all kind of negative things to you, and you're my friend, a real friend at that, and asking for my opinion on it and my facts on it, and I tell you." So then she wants to get spiteful and be rude and disrespectful to me. Like, well, why'd you do that? And why you gotta say it like that? Who you think you talking to? And just getting real rude and just smart at the mouth and want to be petty. And then it's like, you keep consistently asking me every day. Like, okay, for another example, she will also buy stuff that she could not afford, I should say, and then ask for my opinion on it later on if that was the right thing to do. And then, mind you, I'm not a financial expert, but I have common sense, okay? So if there's something out there, materialistic-wise, right, and you cannot get it right there and then, it's okay. Just save up your money. Save up your money as best as you can, and then it's always going to be something better later on. So try to get stuff at a deal if you can. You know, do like what you can do, whether it's shoes, electronics, I don't know, whatever else is out there that's, materialistic-wise. Learn how to budget yourself. But she did not want to accept that. She wants to tell her personal business, publicly, without me even asking. And I was like, wait a minute. Why are you telling your personal business to me like that and I'm not even asking? So she will bring up, financial aid and spend all she did with financial aid and couldn't get it back. I'm like, girl, please. Learn how to budget yourself. Do like what's best for you. Don't try to keep up with these celebrities and the Joneses and the Kardashians. Stop doing all that. Just be yourself. I think a lot of times you look on the internet and you try to be like these people. And it's just like, if you don't have the money like they do, it's okay. But she did not want to get that. No, she wants to consistently just keep up with the Jones. Just buy 30 cases. Alge, what you think about this? Or Alge, what do you think about me spend my money at McDonald's consistently? What do you feel about me buying all this stuff? And I'm like, you keep asking me, but then you get defensive when I tell you the truth. And it was every day. And at that time, I was 18, 19 years old. Or was I 20? One of those ages. But anyway, I didn't realize this was normalizing disrespect. I really did not know it. Because I looked at her as like, you're my best friend. And you want me to be honest with you. But then you keep doing this negative stuff in your life. And it's not benefiting you at all. And it's like, if you ask somebody else for their opinion on it, why are you being defensive? Because I would watch her. She didn't act this way with the other people that we were hanging around with.
Oh.
It was something to do with me, something. I don't know what. I don't even care anymore. But I've noticed it was always something with me that she feels like, oh, I could really just say what I want to say about him because he looks nice every single day and he's always happy and he always keeps it real. Well, you asked me to be real, so why you feel this whole heart like just be cold and nasty?
Yeah.
And it really affects me emotionally because sometimes I'll be like, was this a good idea in the first place to even be talking to you? Because I met her through a mutual friend. So in the beginning, I thought she was cool. But then out of nowhere, you just want to become jealous and spiteful and just rude. And it's just like, I can't deal with this. You're hurting me emotionally. And people don't realize when you have a fallout with somebody, they don't ever want to tell the truth on what really happened. They always want to tell bits and pieces of it so they can have their little clicks or whatever on their side.
Oh, right.
A lot of people don't realize when you're not telling the truth on something and there's facts, on your phone and stuff like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like, bro, I know the truth regardless. So it's like, since I know the truth and this has nothing to do with me, even though it ain't my business, I still know the truth that you told me. So it's like you could go ahead and have a little click or whatever and try to make me look bad, but I still know the truth. So it's like you got to realize that a lot of people, they do kind of stuff like this for attention. And they always want people on their side. But the people that you're telling this to, you're not telling the whole entire truth. Because you want everybody to agree with you on your so-called truth.
Okay.
But it's not.
Sure.
And this has happened to me plenty of times. Like, plenty of times. And then it's like, looking back on it, could I have done something different? No. I learned that it was not me, it was her. And it was not just her, it was multiple other people too. Like, people just feel so comfortable just coming up to me and asking me to be real with them. I don't know why.
And here's the thing, because you're saying in a very respectful way, being truthful, but you're also being respectful about it. Like, your response comes off as, okay, truthful but respectful. But then the response back from, your response is total opposite. Like, as if you don't even like what I'm hearing or you don't like what I'm saying kind of thing. And it's just disrespectful. And it's almost as if it was kind of normalized to just constantly react in a certain way like that, as if it didn't affect us personally.
Right.
So, and okay. Did you want to, add a little bit more? Because we can literally talk more about how did this affect you personally, if you wanted to get into that right away.
Okay, well, yeah, let's talk about it. How it really affects me is because it's like I'm trying my hardest to be nice. And emotionally, I would feel bad. Mm-hmm. I would feel angry. I wasn't happy, I should say. Because multiple people like her will constantly ask me for advice and they don't want to receive the truth. And how it kept affecting me was, it's like, I think about, if you're my friend, I think about you all the time. I want to make sure that you are okay in every aspect. Okay? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the more that you're taking that as an advantage, you're constantly hurting me because it's like, this is your personal business, not mine. Don't make your personal stuff my stuff. And it's like boundaries were crossed. Yeah. And I didn't really realize it until later on. And it's like, another thing what people don't realize is that when somebody's not going to sit here and tell the truth, and they only tell bits and pieces of the story, whoever you're falling out with, they don't ever want to tell the truth and forget that how plenty times you the one called me late at night while I be asleep, asking me. People don't ever want to talk about the real entire truth, as in when you be crying late at night, I was there for you.
Wow.
Anytime that you were hungry, I was there for you. Real life stuff situations. Not he wants to do this or she wants, just be acting different, acting stupid or whatever. You're not telling the truth. And when I hear this kind of stuff and that person not telling the truth, I get angry. Yeah. Really angry inside. Because it's like, I thought we were supposed to be friends. And now it's one thing, to say something bad about somebody, but if it's not the truth, that's when we cannot discuss it. And it's like, she kept doing that, and multiple other people kept doing it as well. And it's like they trying to put everybody else into stuff that has nothing to do with them.
Right.
And it's like, bro, like, how old are you? You really gonna sit here and tell the whole entire city on a situation that has nothing to do with you? This is you and I's beef, not the whole city. And plenty of times, like, I'll be like, dang, I wish I had not met this person. Wow. But then later on, I'm realizing that it's part of life with people. And there's times where it's going to really hurt you. Like, it hurt me multiple times. Multiple times. And I've always tried to brush it off like, it's no big deal. But it does. It hurts more and more because it's like when somebody keeps making up lies about you and saying negative things about you that's not the truth, and other people are believing it. And I want to hear your side of the story. Well, my side of the story for this, but for the same aspect. If they don't want to hear your side of the truth. And then out of nowhere, what I notice is that with the people that you tried to bring against me, and they're not kicking it with you no more, I've noticed that they want to sit here and come back to me, for an example. So it's really, truly ridiculous. It's really, truly ridiculous. And it's more like, bro, how old are you going to keep on acting like this? Because if you're 22 or older than me, why? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like it's like keep it real. If you want to keep it real, keep it real with yourself and with other people. Because the more you want to sit here and doubt people or taking that as an advantage, no, it's not going to work at all. It's not going to. So, I think what a lot of times, like, I remember there were times where I'm like, I need my childhood friends more than ever at this point. Because it was so consistent. It was consistently, like, especially like before COVID hit, everybody kept asking me, why you go to Success Center? Like, how do you pass your classes and stuff? I just do my stuff, mind my business, and I just did. That's all I do. Go to Success Center, go to tutoring, ask the professor for help, or whatever. And then people felt some type of way. Because I think a lot of times we talk to people who, just talk about stuff, but they're actually not about that action. And I'm talking about school-wise, work-wise, or whatever. And the people that I was around, I realized now, they were just talking. I'm going to get this promotion, I'm going to get this job, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. But it's really sad to say that when people are not taking stuff seriously, especially when it comes to your future, and you're asking other people how you stay so motivated, it's like, I'm doing what I got to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I got to do what's best for me and my future, for my career. So it's like, I just ask for help. But a lot of people don't want to sit there and ask for help. They are too busy trying to get with people that they could just whine together with and don't want to do better for themselves. But then yet, when they see somebody that is minding their business, taking care of their business, and bossing up and doing what they have to do
they
to
feel
better themselves.
They feel that that's intimidating to them, and they feel like it's normal to disrespect you because you're not in the same situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Alge.
Yes.
So if you were to give anyone advice for those who are going through something similar, what kind of advice would you give?
The advice I would give them is learn to just be alone. Sometimes it's just best for you to just be by yourself if you're in a bad situation like that. Or talk to your childhood friends or a close family member or whoever you're close with, so that they can actually help you out emotionally, someone that you can actually talk to. Because sometimes some people don't have that. So I always think of, for me, I just went to my childhood friends and I felt better for me. And that's the advice I'll give to anybody. Go find somebody that's close to you and see how they feel about it, and then talk it out, and they can understand where you're coming from, because they actually know you better than anybody else that you actually run into.
Guys knew each other way longer too, especially if they're practically almost like, I would say, family friends if you get to know their parents and everything. But it's nice to really connect back to people who are there for you since day one, or just always been pretty close to you, and you just feel like you can trust them and speak to them about this stuff. It's better than just speaking to a random person. I mean, they don't know where you're coming from, so it's like, what kind of response are you expecting from there? You know what I mean? So
exactly.
Yeah. All right, so it is already 32 minutes into the video. I don't know how many people have made it this far. Yeah, we do really long videos, but we like to place emphasis on, pretty serious topics, or even relevant topics, if you will. And we're hoping that this has helped or given you a little bit better idea of, our background and things that we went through, and, topics that we just hope that you can relate to. But
that's the main thing for the show, to be relatable.
Yeah, that's really the main purpose of, making this channel, making this talk show. We talk a lot about serious stuff that, can happen throughout our lives, and if you want to discuss it, that's usually what we go for. If there are any suggestions, feel free to comment. But for now, we're going to go ahead and end this. Like, comment, sub for more content like this on the TheNonah&AlgeTalkshow. My name is Winona.
And I'm Alge.
And we really, truly appreciate you guys for being patient with us. We are only posting once a week as of lately, because our schedules and everything. But we definitely appreciate those who just subscribed, for those who just checked us out. We truly, truly appreciate it. And
yes, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes. But for now, hope you guys have a great one, and stay tuned for more.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.